CBSE Board, Class 9, History, Chapter 8, Part 15, Audio by Renee Matthew. So we saw that everybody was not really interested in following the ideas which were put forth by Mahatma Gandhi himself. And there were so many reasons for that. Not all could wear khadi. It was, of course, a part of the mental state that did not allow many of them to wear khadi, just like how Gandhi did. And everybody was not able to comprehend with what he told. Nationalists such as Motilal Nehru, a successful barrister from Allahabad, gave up his expensive Western style suits and adopted the Indian dhoti and kurta. So he was like, he didn't want to go for khadi, but what he did is he gave up all his expensive Western style suits and went for simple dhoti and kurta. So instead of going for khadi, this is what he adopted and did not adopt what Mahatma Gandhi put forth. But these were not made of coarse cloth. Those who had been deprived by caste norms for centuries were attracted to Western dress style. So before that, there is one particular line highlighted in pink color. But these were not made of coarse cloth. What? Whatever Motilal Nehru wore, that is the Indian dhoti and kurta, was not of coarse cloth like the khadi. That is the meaning of this sentence. Those who had been deprived by caste norms, there were some people who were facing a lot of problems because of the nomenclatures of caste system. They were really attracted to the Western suit. You know why? Because it is for comfort's sake, it is convenience sake, and also it is something which gave them some identity. Like till then nobody even looked at them, or maybe nobody even realized that these people were existing. So when they gave their mind and identity to dress like the Westerners, they were like happy, they were self-satisfied, whether it is for the bad or good. Therefore, unlike Mahatma Gandhi, other nationalists such as Baba Sahib Ambedkar never gave up the Western style suit, because these people found their identity in wearing these Western suits. It was like that was the encouragement for them to wear these kind of Western dresses, and it was a part of their identity also at the same time. Therefore, unlike Mahatma Gandhi, other nationalists, so this particular point is very important. They are speaking about one of the great leaders, that is Ambedkar. Many Dalits began in the early 1910s to wear three-piece suits. So these people, the Dalits, were like inferior in those days. They never came forward with their voice. They were very comfortable in wearing the three-piece Western suits and shoes and socks on all public occasions as a political statement of self-respect. So as I told you earlier, this is something which gave them self-respect, and this is something which helped them to develop their identity. Till then, they were suppressed by whom? Not by everybody, but by the upper caste. When they tried imitating the upper caste, nobody even heard them. Nobody even understood what they were feeling like. So they wanted to just do away with all those feelings and make themselves feel good by at least wearing this Western clothes. If not Indian, Western at least. That was their state of mind at that time. So everybody could not really understand what Gandhi was trying to propagate. So here we have the pictures of Ambedkar on the right hand side and Motilal Nehru on the left hand side. So it was a part of their identity itself to dress in these suits. Ambedkar, of course, did not give away with the Western suit, and Motilal Nehru, at least he adopted the dhoti and the kurta. So these are the two pictures taken apart from your textbook. A woman who wrote to Mahatma Gandhi from Maharashtra in 1928 said, so there was a famous woman who wrote to Mahatma Gandhi. Who is that? A year ago, I heard you speaking on the extreme necessity of every one of us wearing khadi, and thereupon decided to adopt it. So a woman is writing, maybe it's a lay woman who was a normal woman from the common locality, and she just wrote to Gandhi saying, we all started wearing khadi because of what you told us. We completely understand. But we are poor people. My husband says khadi is costly. Belonging as I do to Maharashtra, I wear a sari 9 yards long, and the elders will not hear of a reduction to 6 yards. I cannot reduce the length of my sari. I have to wear something which is 9 yards long, and my elders or the people at home will not allow me to wear a sari which is 6 yards long. That is a part of their custom. And also, khadi is very costly. This woman is not complaining, she's telling the practical difficulty. They were poor, and how could they actually afford khadi sari which was 9 yards long? It will be really costly. So, many people practical because of pragmatic reasons, because of practical reasons, did not adopt. So that is another side to it. So here what we are trying to see is that people from different parts of the society or of the class, like for example Motilal Nehru, a successful barrister, then we have Ambedkar. All these people, they were not poor, they were from the upper classes or they were from the higher part of the authority. And then a normal woman is also speaking as a common man. Other women like Sarojini Naidu, she was a famous poetess, and Kamala Nehru wore colored saris with designs instead of coarse white homespun. So there were some dominant, or you can say famous people, part of the national struggle. People who really did not wear khadi, but they wore saris with designs, and it doesn't mean that they did not feel united with the country. So these were some of the exceptional cases, and the reasons are also given why, as to why they did not wear khadi. Let's think about this point. Changes in styles of clothing are thus linked up with shifts in cultural tastes and notions of beauty, with changes within the economy and society, and with issues of social and political conflict. So, as we saw in the beginning of this chapter, evolution, this is what we saw in the whole chapter. It is a big evolution which took place throughout this particular chapter, where there was degradation, there was upgradation, people accepted clothing, there were few people who did not accept clothing. So it is a big shift which took place in the cultural taste. Why cultural taste? Because people started dressing according to the regional codes also, and the notion of beauty also changed. It's like initially in the Victorian era, people were supposed to be docile and submissive, especially women. So that also changed with changes in economy and society. So, what can you tell about this? It is all a circle, right? Everything is interconnected. Social status, economic status, then clothing, everything was interrelated. When one went through a change, when one was reformed, it affected, gradually, it affected the other part of the country also. So, when we see clothing styles alter, we need to ask, why do these changes take place? What do they tell us about society and its history? So, definitely, changes in clothing took place because of demand of the society, because of the changes in the society. They are interdependent. That is the point that they're trying to make. What can they tell us about changes in taste and technology, markets and industry? So we saw that markets, industries, technology, everything was interrelated. It's not just one part of the society. Economy, society, social changes. All these things led to the great revolution, and definitely it affected the fashion, it affected the clothing style, and because of that, the thinking style of people also changed. So you can say political science, everything underwent a change. Psychology of the people also changed, and entertainment part. So gradually, when one part of this cycle is affected, all the others also get affected. So if one part is facing a progress, everything else will also face a progress. Now it is about the famous Gandhi cap. So this is something which you have to read for your information. So some of the points are highlighted here. It is about the Kashmiri cap which was transformed. So we saw that he returned to India from South Africa in 1915 and he transformed the Kashmiri cap that he sometimes used into a cheap white cotton khadi cap. So he just took the Kashmiri cap and used it or made some changes to keep it as some other khadi cap, or that was just a small change in pattern that Gandhi himself did for his convenience. For 2 years from 1919, he himself wore the cap and then gave it up. So he didn't want the cap after that. But by this time, it had become part of the nationalist uniform and even a symbol of defense. So when he gave up the cap, it became a symbol of defiance. Defiance means detesting, protesting. So that was the great story of the cap, the Kashmiri cap, which transformed. For example, the Gwalior state tried to prohibit its use in 1921 during the non-cooperation movement. During the Khilafat movement, the cap was worn by a large number of Hindus and Muslims. So though it was not used during the non-cooperation movement, during the Khilafat movement, it was used. A group of Santals who attacked the police in 1922 in Bengal, demanding the release of Santal prisoners, believed that the Gandhi cap could protect them from bullets. 3 of them died as a result. So a lot of beliefs surrounded the use of this cap. So first he transformed it for his convenience, and then it was used as a protest against the Britishers, and there were a few people who wore it thinking that it will protect them from the invasion or from the foreign rule or from the bullets. But did it save them? No. So a lot of beliefs were associated with it. These are some of the points from the fact file in history. So can you look at the pictures which is given beneath? It is very important. Large numbers of nationalists defiantly wore the Gandhi cap, and even they were beaten or arrested for doing so. So when they wore these caps, it is like they are followers of Gandhi, and the Britishers did not obviously like it, and they were beaten because they were wearing the cap. So that is a story of the Gandhi cap. With the rise of the Khilafat movement in the post First World War years, the fez, a tasseled Turkish cap, became a sign of anti-colonialism in India. So this is something which they adopted in the Khilafat movement. That is post First World War. Fez, can you see the picture of a red color Turkish cap on the bottom of the screen? So that was adopted as a sign of protest. Some of them started using it. It was a sign of anti-colonialism. So some cap they will wear. So if they were beaten for the Kashmiri or the Gandhi cap, they adopted the fez. Though many Hindus, as in Hyderabad for instance, also wore the fez, it soon became identified solely only with the Muslims. So everybody started using. So what you can understand from all these things is there was no religion in those days. Everybody wore the cap, they were beaten. If they were beaten, everybody was beaten. If they were saved, everybody was saved. So though fez was worn by even the Hindus in those days, now we can see only the Muslims wearing it. So that is the great story behind the Gandhi cap. Remember to read it again. These are, as I told you, these are some of the points from the sources and fact file. It will help you to analyze some of the questions also. Okay.